Hi, I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free and stay free. Now, this is part 2 of a video series that I've been wanting to do called Stop the Lingering Effects of Narcissistic Abuse. And I do believe that though I feel great on a day-to-day basis, though I have taken countless steps with you guys to move away from the abuse and move to a place of healing, there is definitely a lingering effect. Now, the emotional abuse definitely lingers on, the spiritual abuse. There are so many aspects of narcissistic abuse, but one that I have really found to be very threatening in my own personal life, something that's been a real challenge to overcome, was the financial abuse. Now, that's an easy enough thing to say, financial abuse, but all too often, victims, survivors find that their life savings are gone. They have been swindled out of properties, businesses, homes, all sorts of things. And with your life now in shambles and you certainly feeling like it's going to be a struggle to go on, all too often a person's career is compromised. But when we look at the word career, it seems like one thing. It seems like your job. But having a compromised career, having now physical illness, emotional illness, spiritual illness, stress, depression, I mean, all of these things challenge your ability to fulfill your career, which now puts you in a financial predicament. Now, okay, again, simple enough thing to say, but what does a financial predicament actually mean? Well, first and foremost, it means if you are still in a financial bind because of the narcissist or still live with the narcissist and find yourself solely dependent on them financially, well, trust me when I say this didn't happen by accident. This was very intentional, but either way, financial abuse means that you are now in a financial situation. So how does that spill out for us? Well, I'll tell you, I found myself with, my savings gone, a very, very shattered career, a tremendous lack of confidence in moving forward with my career. And that's why I want to do this video series to show so many of you how it will take you one step to get moving and get the ball rolling and get yourself out of this financial abuse, because this lingering abuse to me is almost as all-encompassing as being with the narc still. Now, going no contact is absolutely paramount because you got to close the portal of hell. You got to shut down the noise. You got to stop the narc from infiltrating your life, from continuing to harm you. You can't heal effectively when you're still in it. But once you are no contact and find yourself still affected by the narcissist, well, this to me is extremely problematic. It meant to me that Trevor was still controlling certain aspects of my life and very important aspects of my life. And again, what I mean by this, sorry, I feel really excited because I think I've found a way that so many of us can move on and really start to restore our careers and really start to get money coming in. Because when you are sick or, suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, or you're feeling depressed or anxious or not able to really get your stride, yes, this will gravely affect your career. This will gravely affect your finances. But what this ultimately does, and was doing to me, was compromising my ability to have safe and stable housing. When a person's home life, when that very foundation is rocked, volatile, there is no safety, there is no security. And I think for so many of us, the ability to move on fluidly with healing will depend on that bit of security, knowing that your home life was safe. Now, if you're flat ass broke or living in your car, you certainly know what I'm talking about. And I don't know if many of you realize how many friends here at the channel that we have, people who you read their comments regularly and may not realize they do actually live in their cars. And it was really this that spurred me on to find a solution, because after you have been abused by a narcissist, the absolute last thing that should happen to you is that you should be living in a car, right? This is just a perpetuation of abuse that is far too fucking much, right? It's too much. The fact that your finances are gone is one thing. But if you don't have that momentum, you don't have that ability, that confidence to rebuild those finances, well, the narcissist has won, and there's nothing I'd rather do than beat a narcissist down for each and every one of us to get ultimate revenge on them by fully restoring our lives. And if our finances are in ruins, our home life is in ruins. I mean, so many things can be affected. I get emails from people and do Skype, conversations with people that say, I'm really sick, but I can't get to a doctor because I lost my car, as a result of the abuse, and I've got no money, and I can't get a car, and I don't know anyone, and I've lost all my friends. People aren't able to get their medical needs met. People aren't able to afford, chiropractors, dentists, optometrists. People are walking around needing glasses, unable to see, but can't afford glasses. I mean, this is too fucking much, right? People are looking for food that's on sale because they can't afford to eat what they want. So this career aspect, this lack of confidence, this inability to get your stride back up is so much more than the simple word career. This, in so many cases, is affecting people's ability to provide themselves with a stable, comfortable home, the ability to buy good, wholesome, organic food, the ability to do things, connect with people, go places. It is affecting people's life to the point that if this cycle isn't broken, it's just going to continue to perpetuate. And as long as this cycle is continuing in your life, the fucking narcs got control of it. Now, I was away from Trevor for 2 years in Canada. I've been here for 8 months, and most definitely I saw this. I saw the aftermath of narcissistic abuse still affecting my life, affecting my decisions, because so much of what we do, where we go, what we eat, where we live depends on our ability to provide for ourselves. And when you are just absolute destroyed, crumpled up, gelatinous mass of what you used to be, well, this is going to be problematic for a very long time, and it's going to affect your life in ways that it shouldn't be affecting your life. When you get free, you should be free, and going no contact is certainly a first step, but it's not all of it. Okay, so back to that last video, actually the video before that as well. Something happened. There was a shift in me when I took an initial step. I posted a call out on social media looking for other artists. And of course, once I did that, I was backed into a corner and I had to become productive again. Now, with my broken confidence, of course, as I mentioned, I started with the little cherry earrings, which started to snowball. I started going to meetings with fellow artists, and that started to snowball. And one thing led to another, almost exactly the way the narcissistic abuse affected us. It started out with the love bombing and then the devaluing, and it was one little innuendo after the other until absolute destruction. Well, I've come to recognize that the climb back to restoration is the exact same. Little gestures, little steps, and it just starts snowballing. It snowballed one way with the narcissist, and now we have the opportunity to snowball it in reverse and just unwind it. Now, another reason why I believe this aspect, this single aspect of narcissistic abuse, the destruction of our careers, the shattering of our confidence as far as our careers go, is so important, is because when you're broke, when you're unable to get adequate housing, get a car, have your medical, dental, and optometry needs met. When all of this stuff is affected, of course, this is going to cause soul sickness. It's going to perpetuate the emotional abuse that you suffered. It's going to continue the spiritual abuse, and the emotional abuse and spiritual abuse is going to start to trigger depression and further self-isolation because you're feeling bad about yourself. So I did notice something, when I first started to take these steps, I really started to look at successful people, people that were financially successful. And I have been financially successful over my lifetime. This certainly gives people a sense of freedom. It gives people a sense of confidence. It gives people a sense of pride because they're taking care of themselves and their family. So I started to recognize in my own self that this broken career, this lack of confidence, was definitely affecting where I lived, what I ate, where I went, what I was able to help my kids with. It was affecting all of that. But all of that, too, was affecting my self-esteem even worse. It was making my sense of confidence worse. It was making everything worse. So I really want to explore this possibility with you guys because, you know, I kind of came up with the idea. And though I haven't made a video for a while, I've been doing an experiment. Now, of course, I don't have anyone to experiment on. I only have myself. And I really didn't want to present this as a theory. I want to present this as fact, as something that you can actually build a foundation on. So I use myself, you know, as the test case for this little experiment. And I really want to tell you guys how that's been going for me because I think so many of you could benefit from, well, the last 2 weeks of my life and this personal experiment I've been running on myself. Okay, so much has happened since the last video. It started with me doing that call out for local artists. Local artists start contacting me, we start getting together, we start having meetings. Now, I've met many great people, but I did meet this one woman. Her name was Tracy. She's an abstract artist, a painter from Alberta, Canada. Now, as Tracy and I are sitting talking, she asked me, like, what do you make, you know? So I start to explain to her that I'm doing a line of jewelry because, as you guys know, I'd already started that. And I tell her that I do a line of pareos. Now, a pareo is also called a sarong, a beach wrap, that sort of thing. And everybody knows that as that million-year-old first garment ever created, which is a giant rectangle. Now, of course, this product has never seen any evolution over its million-year history. In fact, the pareo still looks much like it always does. But many years ago, when I was pregnant with my son Eddie, so he's 20 now, I was living in Boca de Tomatland here in Mexico, and my balcony hung out over the little dock where the sea taxis come. And the sea taxis are constantly moving people out to the other villages, Camixto, Yalapa, Los Animas, and all the little villages. It's very popular. And I would watch women coming along the beach, and they had the pareo on, but they had it pulled up in the front, and they were making like a pocket because they were collecting seashells and other things, and they were kind of holding it bunched up and putting things in it. And I thought to myself, Jesus, you know, I've got actually a degree in fashion history, and I thought to myself, the pareo was the first garment ever invented, and damn if that thing doesn't need a pocket. So in the next clip, I'll show you what I came up with. It is a product that I designed while sitting on my balcony watching this, and I do have a patent on it. In fact, it was my primary business many years ago in Mexico. Of course, we all understand the pareo to be, you know, the big rectangle. Now, what I came up with is this. These are my pareos. Now, back to being able to merchandise and marketing, I am working on a whole bunch of collections. This is a black and white collection here, and yes, it does look like a little beach bag. So what my pareo does is it has an attached pocket. So I created this so when you were wearing it, you could keep credit cards, cell phone, your hotel room card, these sorts of things. You could keep them in that pocket, which is now concealed. Of course, this just ties on if you're wearing it as a skirt. And you could keep it concealed. But if you wanted to have access to things, you wanted to put seashells, they're all completely reversible. You can wear it the other way. Of course, it all tucks inside each other. It turns into a little bag. It turns into a beach pillow. And it does all kinds of things. So So I designed this thing many, many years ago when Eddie was a baby, just prior to his birth. And I had retail stores here in Mexico at the time. And this product line very, very quickly became my #1 seller. In fact, representatives from Revlon Cosmetics had come down to talk to me about using the Pareo as a converter. So they wanted it made in their spring, summer shades. They wanted Revlon printed on the bag. And they were going to, use it as a converter in all the department stores. I did look into it. I talked to them quite extensively. 20 years in Mexico, 20 years ago, it was going to be very, very hard to match colors identically. They wanted so many of them that if colors weren't identical, I mean, I was just going to have a shit show on my hands. So I ended up turning that job down. Carnival Cruise Lines was another one that wanted to buy the Pareo for their gift shops on their cruise ships, and they wanted Carnival printed on the bag. Same thing, color issues, reliability with fabric manufacturers 20 years ago here was going to be a bit of a challenge. Though I did produce them and I sold them in my stores and they were my #1 seller. So when I came back, I was kind of thinking maybe I could sell the Pareos. So I did these samples, right? And it's just a monochromatic collection of black and white ones, solids and prints. So anyways, I'm sitting here with Tracy, and Tracy says, well, what do you make? So I say Pareos. She kind of like, everybody's got those. I say, well, can I show you one? So I show it to her. Well, she freaks out. She loves it. She loves the idea of the bag. She loves the idea that you can carry things in. She loves the idea that you can have your hotel card, your credit card, your passport if you need it, boarding passes for cruise ships and things like that. Really well concealed because, of course, anytime you're a tourist, you're vulnerable to pickpocketing or any of this kind of stuff. And if you're laying around by a hotel pool, you can put your private things in there and use it as a pool pillow and nobody even knows. You can leave it by the side of the pool and you can have your stuff in there. So anyway, she loves it. Tracy owns a really great store with her partner in a little village not far from here. Very, very popular tourist destination. A lot of great restaurants there, a lot of great stuff. She's got an extremely busy gift shop, and she invites me to come down and show the Pareos to her partner. So we're talking back and forth on email, and she says to me, yeah, we just want to see the Pareos. I said, well, I'd like to show you my jewelry as well. She writes back, no, not really, because we do have a couple of jewelry people already that we represent. So I write back again. Now I'm feeling a bit more confident because the jewelry actually looks okay in my opinion, and it's coming very fluidly, and I got lots of ideas, and my confidence is up now. Now, had somebody said that to me 6 months ago, I would have just curled up and crawled under the table and died. But no, I am feeling a bit more confident now because, damn it, I am making good jewelry and I feel pretty fucking good about it. So I write back and I say, you know what, Tracy? I really appreciate you wanting to see the Pareos. In fact, if you like them and you want to carry them, I will promise I will give you an exclusive. And an exclusive in a big area like hers is pretty, generous offer from any artist. But I say, in exchange for that, I need a few minutes of your time so I can please show you some jewelry. Well, she writes back and says, we'll take that exclusive, and yes, we'll take a look at your jewelry. So I go with some things. Exton comes with me, and she gives me some table space, and Exton and I put the jewelry out. Well, they freak out. They absolutely freak out. And the two of them immediately offer me an opportunity to lease space in their store. The lease was very reasonable. So what it actually is a permanent year-round pop-up store in their fabulous store. They do weekly art walks. They have an agreement with the Breast Cancer Society that they host all their functions in that area. So they are a really busy, bustling shop, and they love my work and they really want to promote it. They do a lot of online social media stuff, and it was all fabulous. It was just fabulous. I left very excited. They were excited, and we're going to be working together, and I have the opportunity to create a permanent pop-up shop in their shop with my jewelry, my Pareos, and some other product lines I'm working on. Yes, the Pareos aren't the end of it. And by the way, I've got the camera facing this way now because my sewing machine is right here, and I just have cut fabric, piled up everywhere. I've been sewing like a fiend, getting all this together because we will launch my pop-up store in their store. They're closed for the month of September, and they will be reopening October 1st with a grand opening party. Huge list of invited guests. Their annual reopening party October 1st is always very successful, and I'm really, really excited to be a key player in that whole thing they got going on. So I'm really excited. I'm also designing a line of throw pillows, and I'll show those to you. But I got all kinds of stuff going on. It just started snowballing. Now, this is in addition to the project I'm working on with the artist in Vallarta. And I think this is great because, of course, we started out with that project, that artist co-op, with 3 of us, and there was 10 of us, and there was 18 of us, and we just keep growing in numbers. So every time we have a meeting, of course, there's new people, and we all sit and listen to what their vision for the project is. So of course, initially, this is going to be very, very slow moving because everybody needs to be heard. Everybody needs to share their ideas of the vision for the artist co-op, and we are hoping to get the number up to 40. So I very quickly realized this is going to take a while, and of course we're looking at different locations and everybody's got a different idea about that, so I can actually see where we may get that project off the ground, not this high season but next high season. So the fact I met Tracy through this project, the fact that her and her wonderful partner love my work and have created this opportunity for me has just got the ball rolling. Now, one of the things about the pareos I want to mention is, yes, I have sold many pareos. The pareo was my primary business in my retail endeavors here years ago when I lived here before. And I had thought about restoring that product line when I lived in Canada because I've literally sold, I mean, tens of thousands of them. Major corporations were interested in them, and I did talk to Trevor about it, because there's great swimwear shops in Canada, and a chiffon pareo tends to be very expensive in Canada, and I wanted to do this because as far as, you know, this product goes, okay, this is very specific to beachwear, it's very specific to swimwear, it is a one-purpose garment, it is a beach wrap, and Trevor immediately started to ridicule me and say, what, this is Canada, it's cold most of the year, why would anyone want that? I mean, that's a stupid thing. And I just, like everything else, let it go. I let it go. And then when I came here, I sewed these few, but I was very afraid to show anyone. And Tracy and I were alone that day, and she had been so kind, so nurturing. I mean, she just has one of those really fostering personality types, and we were really getting along, and I really liked her. And at first, I wasn't going to show her, and I thought, oh, damn it, I'm just going to do it. And I didn't. She loved them, which led to all this other stuff. And that's all about just taking that bit of initiative. Just do it. Just, even if you're afraid, even if you're out of your comfort zone. Yes, I stood a chance of her saying the same thing Trevor said, oh, those are damn stupid. But no, I took the risk. She loved them. She didn't want to see the jewelry. I pushed her on that, and my confidence was coming up. And you can imagine I'm sitting there scared to death thinking, oh God, they told me that they didn't want to see jewelry. Now, if they hate my jewelry, I'm going to look like a total fucking idiot. But they loved it. They want it in the store. And now I'm creating my own shop inside their very busy shop. Well, whew, holy shit, am I feeling good about this. Like, my confidence has really come up. Like, I'm thinking, okay, I'm not an idiot. Okay, the stuff I make is desirable by other people. And if I could create this pop-up shop in one store in Bucerias, why can't I do the same thing in Sayulita and Puerto Vallarta and Boca de Tomatlan and, you know, all over the Bay? Why can't I do this in different stores? Maybe end up with 4 stores, 6 stores. And this would really help to restore my career. I'd be doing something I love to do. And it just started to roll. And it all started with that one call out, that initial meeting that led to meeting more people and, you know, meeting good people and people who are creative and inspired and people that have the same sorts of interests and hobbies and passions of mine. And yeah, I'm nowhere near as self-isolated as I was. I'm outsourcing out fabric, and I got to show you guys this one. Oh wait, where's this one? In one video, I did mention that I do visit fabric stores. I love fabric. And, you know, I would kind of be in and out, not really feeling it, not having a good vibe for the fabric. And now I'm in the fabric store for hours. I'm really enjoying it. I just found this really great poly chiffon with the tie-dye print on it. And I feel really passionate, excited about colors again and about fabrics and textiles. I'm going around, I'm touching them, and I'm spending hours, and I'm kind of envisioning how collections are going to go together. And the whole thing just started rolling. Okay, sorry, this video is getting really long, but I've got so much more to tell you guys, and I really hope that you're starting to get a feel for this and see how you can make this happen in your own life. On to the next video. I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. I love you guys lots. I'll see you in part 3.